Time to model the foot. So, just going to take the little boot shape we made initially and go to face mode. Grab what we want and Control Shift I. Grab what we don't want and hit delete. So we have a little boot here. And after we do that, I'm going to go ahead and save that for a moment and just shift drag to clone it. So that way we can go back to this shape here if we want to. And whichever side works for you, you can work on the left or the right. Whatnot. It has a little bit of arch. This has already been sandwiched down a bit towards the end. And you can see the edge loop along the borders already pretty close down to the sole. You kind of get that little turn. So this is about as low poly as you want to get in most cases. And we're going to pull out the ball of the foot first. So the big toe. So grab these faces right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just going to hold down Shift and extrude and pull that out. And give it a good amount of space so that the front is really has enough room. You can straighten out this division here for the big toe is going to come out, and then back here for the ball of the foot as it goes into the arch. I'll probably clean up how this geometry works a little bit more in some future videos, but for now we just pull that piece out and make sure we don't leave any on behind on accident. I'll go ahead and curve, get rid of these points. Remember, between any three vertices, 1, 2, 3, there should never be a straight line on the human body. It's organic. There should always be an arc, so always curve those out when you're doing the fine tuning, getting the anatomy correct on here. So you can grab these three pieces right here, and it's going to bring it in, and there you go. You get like a nice curve. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go so far that the quad gets buckled on one of the edges. Usually it's the hypotenuse edge, so you don't want to buckle the edge. And so to avoid that, you can just bring this out a little closer, grab those three, and then bring it in again. And that should be enough to get a curve. Whoa, looks like I went on the up axis on accident. Y up, and then the outer side here, we can go ahead and bring those down a little bit too. Again, watch out for buckling. Make sure everything's a series of arcs. And that should be good enough to get us started. I can probably bring this in a little bit here as well. Yeah. And we're going to, this middle set of edge loops here down in between where the 4 toes are going to come through. So we're going to do 4 toes and then the big toe, so 5 total. So right now we just have room for 3 to pull out. So if I just go in here to face and extrude and pull that out, we get the big toe. But we're going to do it the same way we did the hand. So we're going to go to edge here, and I'm going to grab these edges right here and connect them together. And then grab the other side and do connection there. And then we're going to still do the triangle end-on split. So whenever we want to do 2 rows that go into a single row, to use the multi-cut, we go to the middle, right, not to the corner. That is what we usually do on accident. But if you want to go to the middle, too, you can hold down Shift and let go, and it should dot up there on the other vertex. Hit Enter. And then to split between the hypotenuse of the triangle in the middle of the quad, that gives you 3 quads in the middle there. And then hold down Shift, go to the middle, there and there. Hold down Shift, go to the middle again, and then go underneath, do the same thing. Click, Shift there, Enter, hold down Shift to go to the middle. Let it snap to the vertex. Do the same thing here. Shift if you want to go to the middle, right to the corner until it turns red. Hit Enter. And from here we go to the X-ray mode. We go to Scale tool. Whoops, the wrong one. And so we can see. I want to spread these out. So whenever you do this triangle end-on split to turn 1 quad into 3, after you cut the middle of that end-on, the 5-sided one, to the corner of the triangle, you want to grab these pieces right here, and you want to scale them away from each other like that, and then back a bit like that. And you can even add to the selection and grab that middle one, and just kind of evenly distribute them out as much as you can. So without making the quad angles anything too strange. And then bigger for near the big toe, of course, right? So I'll leave it on X-ray for just a moment, and let's make it a little bit bigger here in the big toe. This toe here, and then it's going to be a little bit smaller as we go towards the pinky toe, right? pinky toe should be small, so grab that row here, scale, and then straighten those out a little bit so they're kind of parallel to each other. And all this is in a preparation of the surface. The toe should arc back. Let me look at it from the other side here. So some people are different in the toe here, the longer toe by the big toe. Sometimes it's longer than the big toe, but sometimes it's not. So that's you have to check your anatomy on that. But as it goes generally here, just like the hand out towards the pinky, this edge loop should, this arc flow right here should kind of go back towards the outside. So I'm going to grab all those pieces right there, back it up a little bit, let go, grab all those pieces here, back up a little bit, and bring those in. And you'll notice on the bones and the muscle for the anatomy of the foot, there's a bit of a protrusion that happens right about here for this bone. So this kind of sticks out just a little bit. And that's looking pretty solid. Grab all these, maybe bring this one back a little bit more. That. And this one as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And yeah, that pinky's still getting a little bit cramped up in there. So grab this one, bring it back and over as well. We're just kind of pushing this whole thing over towards that pinky. And again, this edge is not perfectly centered, but it does kind of travel. The arc goes about this way. All right, so let's turn off the X-ray mode and let's make the toes and attach them. So before we make the toes and attach them, we do the toes the same way we did the fingers on the hand. Is we're going to just grab these 2 quads. We'll extrude out into a 6-sided shape, right? That's what we've been discussing. So come over here, grab 1, 2, and extrude, and scale, and move, pull straight out just a little bit. There we go. And then as we pull this out, we can also kind of maybe turn it so it gets a little bit straighter, but it does kind of curl out, and then the toes are going to come back in. We'll show that in a little bit more detail. So let's go to the next one here. So grab these 2 and scale. If I hold down shift, I don't have to go hit the extrude button anymore, right? I just hold shift down and you see it turns into the extrude button. Pull W, pull that out. Then as it comes out a little bit, I can E and scale that, or rotate that back just a little bit. Just grab these 2 again over here and maybe bring them back that way and forward. Grab the next 2. Scale, extrude in, pull out, and just about done. Yeah, for this one, I just pulled it. If you do a double click on accident, be sure and undo those right away. It's easy to accidentally extrude and not pull the faces out. It's how we get a lot of those internal faces and errors that occur. So that should be pretty good right there. And then we'll go to the big toe and scale, and then shift scale down and pull. Whoops. That forward. There we go. So I have a preparation area for each of these, and we'll make it rounder as we put the toe, attach the toes in. So first, before I do that, I'm going to grab the top of all of the toes other than the big toe, and I'm just going to push that top down. So it's going to clearly keep sloping downward into the toes there. And over here for the big toe, as these get awkward, you just kind of even them out and keep them rounded-ish as you go, and that'll work out nicely. So there you go. So we could just extrude these out, but let's do the little round toe. So we want to have a toe by itself as an exercise, right? As an anatomy study, you want to have same thing with the fingers and the thumb and the big toe. So in order to do that, we're going to create a cylinder that has 6 sides and not the human size one. Height 160. I think though I could just click and drag, since I have interactive creation turned on, right? Log on primitive interactive creation. And so that lets me create right there in space. So that's why I really prefer it, not just because I learned it in 3D Studio Max, but I think it's just makes sense as a designer to be able to design directly into space that you want to. And then give it a manual rotation 90 degrees. That's probably good for a pinky toe. And we might play with the exact number of edge loops. Get rid of the diagonal. Remember, Q is your friend for that. You can just select things and not accidentally move them or rotate or scale them. Grab those back faces more than you need, then take away with the control. Hit delete. There we go. Okay, so we'll round this off. So in the front, so we'll grab all of the vertices here, and we're going to scale those in. There we go. And top of this kind of comes down. This is roughly going to be like where the toenail is going to be. So there's kind of a downward arc. They call it the spatula of the toes, spatula of the foot. And as I do that, I realize that probably these can come down a little more as well. This one right here is going to go up, and then we'll have, I did not do control backspace. Look at that, I left a middle vertex again. Never leave a little floaty vertex like that. They are not very useful. Okay, grab the second ones here, and then it's not looking very round yet, but when you curve it, it's going to be round. So we're just doing the lowest poly version, right? Cage for UV mapping, rigging, control rig, etc. Yada yada. So this one here can come up as well. Oops, make sure I get both of the. And I think that's going to be pretty good. We can always throw a little bit more in there, but let's see how this looks. Come back here. I'm just spacing these out a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's going to work out okay. So once I have that done, let me go into the side view here. Let's see, I got top, front, side. There we go. F on the keyboard. And it's looking okay. What I wanted to check was grab all the vertices there. I just want to make sure that this is indeed on the grid. So as you're pulling forward, let's make sure that the toe in general is going to be touching the ground here on the bottom, and that the scale is correct. And then as it comes in back up to the padding of the foot, it's not going to be touching the ground much at all, if at all. So we can kind of lift these up a little bit. And do here again, and maybe lift those up some more, scale, maybe bring them out a bit more. And then take a look at that again. And let's pinch these in as well. So try and get rid of any of those straight lines that may be still hanging in there. Trickle. That's a nice simple little toe. All right. The piece out here at the end too, I suppose we can make this even a little bit thinner. I don't want to get too crazy with it. Yeah. All right. So right click, go to object mode. And let's shift drag that as well. Clone that. And as we're going, F on the keyboard in the outliner. It's going to help us to name this. So we'll just go toe underscore mesh. 1, enter. There we go. And this is going to become part of the foot, so the name doesn't really matter too much at the moment. So, but yeah, what I didn't do yet is I didn't delete these faces at the end of the foot. So we'll go face mode, Q, so I don't do anything on accent. 1, 2, 1, 2. Go. Making sure I didn't get anything on the backside accident. All right, grab this. Go to move, and we could even back this up as we go. There's one toe. And there's a bunch of curvature and twists that occur, but for now I'm just going to take this as is, clone it over, switch over to scale, scale it up a little bit, bring it back, Control D, bring it over, scale it up a little bit, go. And another one, bring it over, and this one's going to be quite a bit longer, so pull it out there, double click that edge, and just shift drag that edge back. There you go. I wish we could probably do something similar with the other ones. But let's just move on, just keep it simple. We can always add edge loops. Taking away is more difficult. So bring over the big toe. This one's going to be quite a bit larger, so I'll make him fatter. as well as taller. And then from the side view, of course, we could see that it's gotten, we scaled it, so it's going to push down a bit. So we just have to go back and pull these up off the ground. Make sure the toe's not actually pushing through the zero axis on the floor on the y-axis. That's the other one. That up. Oh, looks like I'm grabbing one in the back on accident. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's looking good. Go over here to these vertices right here in the bottom and just kind of flatten it out a little bit more as well. You can take a look at your toes. There's usually a bit of a angled. They get surprisingly a little sharper towards the end. But I think that's going to work out all right. Go ahead and save what I'm doing and come back. Okay, so we have the anatomy reference here, and this is what I was talking about the outside edge of the foot. There's a bit of a bulge that comes out here where these tendons come underneath the ankle out here from the side and then attach from the ones that are coming from their flexors and extensors, right? So the flexors are going to flex the toes up. Extenders. You see how the toes are kind of curled in. There's a big knuckle that goes up and then back down again. It goes up and back down, up and back down. So you want to capture that up, down, and then up, down again. So in order to do that, I might go back in and add another set of edge loops there. But for right now, let's just take each of those and push forward like that, and then shift drag back. So to the next one, bring it forward. So there's a little bit of a ridge there with the knuckle, and then shift back. Grab this one, forward and shift back. Maybe give yourself a little bit more space here. Double, whoops, make sure I'm on the right piece. Double click, forward, maybe grab this one as well. Oh, there's two there. Oh, I wondered what happened. Okay, that's looking at it from the side view and thought, it's like two in the exact same space, and that's because there's two in the exact same space. Did it dunk it? There we go. All right, happens all the time, right? Double click, bring that forward, and yes, this one has already had that extra knuckle put in there, so you can take a look at that again from the reference. And they're very round. The toenails tend to be really, really short and small, and they're like, they call them piggies for a reason. They're kind of round and bulbous. So we'll keep looking at that reference back and forth as it goes. But you see how the tendons go up in here, and you can see those strong tendons that come down. If you curl your toes up, you can really see how pronounced those tendons are. So keep that in mind while we're going. And the big toe itself is a one big knuckle, whereas all the other toes have two knuckles that are quite visible, easy to see. Different from the hand, right? Surprisingly. So, all right, so let's go ahead and attach these. So go to object mode, grab all of the objects here, the toes and the foot. And maybe before I do that, I could grab this and let's just duplicate it one more time. So creating our library of pieces, right? What if we want to do something different for the toes? You can do 8-sided, right? You can cut another edge, top and bottom, and then give yourself 8-sided digits, just same with the hand. So something to keep in mind. All right, that's looking okay. Go to object mode, grab all the pieces that are in play here. There we go. And we'll go ahead and combine all those pieces into a single object. And we can go to vertex mode again. Maybe after looking at that, maybe this should be a little bit higher. It's not an exact science, right? It's anatomy. You can go to vertex mode and target weld. There we go. That's looking okay. And bring that down. And don't worry too much about that. We'll kind of reposition the sizes. But I'm going to go drag to the toe just because I know it's going to be a little more uniform and a bit easier to work with. So as I'm coming around the side here, go into X-ray mode just if you need to see. It's down in there, so we can click and drag. And it doesn't like going through meshes very much, so sometimes you got to move it out from behind. another one before the target weld will let you click and drag over. So it's kind of a built-in safety measure that the software has. Okay, come over to the next one. And so there are a series of these, right? 6 per toe. We'll go as fast as I can. Oh, that one worked from back side over there. That one's done. Okay. 2. There we go. Undo and redo as needed. Big drag. Oops. Make sure you get the right one. Easy to mess up. Go underneath and back into extra mode and keep going. So getting towards the middle of the toe, they should be getting a lot thinner. So let's see if I can do that. Let's grab these vertices out here, this side of that toe, and then the other side over here. It's kind of crowding the other one a little more than I would want. So I'm going to use the scale tool, and I'm just going to scale in, and then maybe bring it over just a little bit as well. And I'll leave the fatness out here for now and scale that in. There we go. That should be all right. Back to vertex mode and wrap these guys up. So target weld. Whoa. Yeah, if you already have vertices selected, you want to be careful. Escape, deselect. Make sure you don't have target weld on, then come back to it. You don't want to do it the other way around, like I was just doing. So this is crowding the big toe a bit much. I'll bring it back over again. Okay, that should be all right. And you can do an edge drag for this, so I can do target weld by edge as well. So I can grab the edge, target weld. I'm still getting used to this actually working right, but it looks like it does work right, which is pretty cool. So you can try doing edge to edge target weld, not just vertex target weld. It goes, yeah. Hey, if it works, it works. Cool. Very pleasantly surprised. Give it a little smooth algorithm for a second. Make sure that you don't have any surprises. Toes. All right, looking good. Go back to 1. And let's see, is that this one here? And see if we can flatten that out just a little bit. Grab the big toe, good edge, and target weld again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We already did the other one. All right, great. Solid. There's a reference again. So the big toe, you can see how much wider it is, which you can see this kind of pushes in. They should have a tilt as well. They kind of tilt sideways a bit more, which you can see in the drawing here. But from the front view, it's not showing how much they kind of are rotated on that axis, on the z-axis, actually. Maya z, not z up in Unreal. Y up, though, in Maya. So the axis coming towards us, the depth should be there. And I can see the big toes has a pretty big knuckle on there as well. So we'll go in here and grab this edge and move that one back. There we go. A bit bigger. And yeah, it should be good. Go ahead and smooth it. It should smooth nicely. They are quite a bit too long, it's looking like, but I kind of did that on purpose, so to speak. Guys are like, yeah, right, you did it on purpose. But yeah, I gave myself some room so that way I can kind of squeeze this back and control the webbing of the foot from underneath. And then from up above, up here, when I go to the vertex, I'd push the top back. So same thing with the knuckles. The padding of the bottom of the hand, padding of the bottom of the foot is forward more, and the top for the webbing comes back some more. So I'm going to go to all of these on the top section right here, and I'm just going to pull them all back a pretty good chunk, and that's going to create this little webbing effect underneath down here, so that the padding where all the pressure goes on when we're walking and things like that can be absorbed into that spot. And then back here again, and same thing, just bring them back right here. If you miss it, just go ahead and add your selection, bring them back, and maybe over a little bit. And this one here, looks like it could use another edge loop there, but let's see if this just slides. So mesh tool slide edge, right? Middle mouse drag, and that'll kind of even out spacing, but you see the silhouette stays exactly the same, so that's pretty awesome. So pulling that back some more, I feel like I could just do the top by itself a little bit more. Same thing with this one. If the bottom as it starts collapsing down that quad, we have to bring it back out some more. Okay, that's looking pretty good so far. It's got the little bit of the side profile getting there, and the big toe's still not quite a big toe. And same thing with the man, I'm blanking on the name of the skinny one next to it, the long skinny toe next to the big toe. There we go. So re-establishing that circle-ish hexagon shape. Here's the underneath next to the big toe. This one I was talking about. This one has a really narrow space underneath in the back. Okay, I think that's all right. Go back into the face mode and grab all of the faces. Big toe. This is the big question mark, and pull it all the way. Maybe not quite all the way because we can see it's starting to push in into its own geometry. But as soon as it comes out again, I want to go back in there and tweak that some more. Oops. And pull it back, make it look natural. That'll be okay. And now go to the end and let's make this a pretty good bit fatter for big toe. So bring it back some and then make it fatty. There we go. If it starts pushing in there, just move it out, bring it out some more. And yeah, mine's I'm trapped in my own reality here. That this one's longer than my big toe. Whatever. Goes, but that's it should be good. So smooth out one time and see they're a little too long and thin at the moment, but we'll sculpt those up with the sculpting program and then take it from there. So that is a really just very fast speed sculpt demo of the human foot with toes included. We'll sculpt some anatomical detail in there in the coming videos. I guess the ball to fit here, I could bring these up before I end it. And since we don't have the shoe on now, we can really accentuate the arch of the foot a little bit more than what we had previously, and bring in some of these other shapes. Probably bring these ones back some more. So dealing with the padding of the foot here. And yeah, from the front side, yeah, this outside here from the front view, so it kind of curves back some more. So mine's exaggerated, maybe a little too much, so we could bring that in. Doesn't need to be quite that harsh. There we go. And just mellow out the arcs if you're not sure. As best as you can smooth them out, it's usually going to look better. And yeah, they're definitely too small. So we'll go back and do some scale adjustments.